Okay, guys, welcome to the launch of the Your Water from Air webinar series, where we bring together women leaders and other leaders in air water technology. So, wishing all the women who are listening and who will listen and girls a very happy International Women's Day. And I feel extremely honored and privileged that have time spending time with three amazing women who have been leading the air water generation technology and overall water technology. So it's my privilege to introduce today's moderator, Dr. Durga Das. I think she doesn't need any introduction, but definitely want to say one thing: there are very few women in the world when you meet them. And I remember my drive from Washington to New York, that you are in admiration and you are in awe, because somebody who brings in leadership, innovation, vision of really what the humanity should look like, transforming lives of 8 billion plus people by bringing a solution which now also being recognized by Nobel laureates, right? So I think really want to applaud and celebrate Dr. Durga Das. I'll be giving her the floor and she will be doing the introductions of the rest of the panelists. So I'm not going to steal the thunder. So everybody who is listening, thank you so much for joining. And I'll stop sharing my screen and we'll get back to the webinar. Thank you so much.
Durga, you're on
Dr.
mute.
Das, over to you.
Okay, there, yeah.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you for everyone who's joining us today. And I know that for those of you who are unable to, because you're all getting prepared for the finals, which is, of course, and the greater scope of things, very important. And guys in the finals, yes, and for the third time, which is a record, I think. So I will not feel bad if you're not here, but I hope that you will watch the YouTube that Ravi and his team, I know, will be posting across all social media and get some time to listen to what two other brilliant women who are with me today will have to say. I'm honored to have, first of all, Dr. Purnima Jalihal. She needs no introduction, absolutely. I'm in awe of whatever she has done so far. And it was interesting. It was about 3 years ago on this day, on Women's Day, that I met her. She had invited me to National Institute of Ocean Technology to speak on Women's Day. And there were only women in the room. And I was like, why are there only women in the room? There should be men too. Right? Uh, Give me a second, there's something in the background playing. Yes, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it was on this day that I met with her at the National Institute of Ocean Technology. And when there were only women, I was a little surprised. And at the end of the conversation, she actually told me, you know what? We should have had men in this room. And at that day, that was the day I decided that as soon as she finishes her tenure, I've somehow got to get her on board to be our champion and to help Aeronero reach the great heights it is destined to reach. And Dr. Purnima Jalihal has also been a convener for the X Prize. She sits on the board of the DSC Review. She sits on several other committees on water and energy, the nexus of which she's been passionate about. And of course, she's going to talk a little bit about that pattern shortly. Dr. Suriya Prabha is, has just joined us recently in Aeronero. It's been about a few months. It feels like it's been a whole year that she's been with us. And I'm thrilled to have her as well. She's a PhD in nanomaterials as well as in water from Gujarat. And she's working on some extremely exciting stuff that I'm going to have her share on this conversation that she's working on in Aeronero. And I think that augurs very well for the future of Aeronero. I am from Chennai. I have a very Bengali name, but I am South Indian. I'm a professional sportsman. I played cricket at the national level in India, and then I captained the US team for 5, 6 years, maybe 7. And it was on one of those tours in South Africa when I was already searching deeply to see what it is I really wanted to do with my life, having been in technology in Silicon Valley for about 30 years. Having moved from survival and security, you often ask this question, and it comes from within each one of us at some point in our life. Why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we even here? Why was I born? All these deeply spiritual questions that come to you. But some of us take the path of spirituality, understand philosophy, And some of us decide to find a mission that can keep us captivated and motivated till we leave planet Earth, right? And for me, that passion was water. South Africa, when I was playing the tour, Cape Town ran out of water. It was in 2018. And then 2019, Chennai, my hometown, had a day zero. And it's ironical because, as many of you may know, Chennai has the second longest beach in the world. We have the Bay of Bengal. And half the year we run behind a water tanker, and the other half we run away from floods. I mean, it is just so ironical. And when both these events coincided so close to each other, it was like there was some divine message to me saying, you know what, this is what you should be doing. You should be in water. And this is what is going to give you the passion and the perseverance to take this to the end of your journey on planet Earth. And so that's how Aeronero was born, March of 2019. And we started building the product and kind of went on from there. But I'm going to kind of pass the mic on to both Dr. Purnima Jalihal and Dr. Suriya Prabha to share, just like I did, what is their tryst with water? Why water? What did they find the passion about, and how does it stay them so glued in? So let's start with Dr. Purnima Jalihal. Purnima, over to you. You're on mute.
Sorry. So I've had a similar kind of a feel about water. I mean, I'm really passionate about water and energy. And just a little, if you go back in time a little bit, first of all, I've also gone through and seen the 2019 Chennai scenario. That was like, I mean, it really shook all of us that being, sort of empowered and, kind of elitist, I would say, we had to suffer as much as the rest of them. I mean, that's what water does, whether it's a drought or it's a flood, everybody is the same. And before that, actually, and we know that India is water stressed, most of the country is, except the Northeast. But when we first did the Lakshadweep project, we actually tried to do and focus more on the technology using the ocean thermal gradient to first try to make power. When that we had difficulties because India still did not have the marine infrastructure. So we tried doing desalination in the Lakshadweep Islands. And of course, I won't go into the complexities and the challenges that we faced, but in 2005, we were able to set up the world's first ever low temperature thermal desalination plant in the Kavarati Island in Arabian Sea. And the important thing about this plant is that we watched for a year after it was commissioned, and all the waterborne diseases like diarrhea and hypertension and kidney stones, all of these just kind of dwindled. And we sent a medical team and we got all the statistics, and the gratitude on the faces of the people, the happiness, it was just simply very, very nice to look at, and also feel that okay, we have done something. The engineering has touched the society at its roots. And from then it just was a, I did not turn back. I've always been wanting to do only water. I mean, we did technologically, we did a lot of things after that. However, I still continue to look at water and energy. And when I got the opportunity to be with Durga, I just grabbed it without even thinking, because she is doing something which is really required right now. And I think that's my kind of thing on why I am into water today. Thanks, Durga.
Dr. Purnima, why don't you also share a little bit about your background? So you studied in the US, you lived there for a few years. Typically, all our scientists who go there get used to the comfortable life. They have access to, the platforms they need to work on their education and their passion. Why did you come back to India? What drove you back here?
Well, that's an interesting question. I've been asked that many times, and actually, my husband and I were both in an Ivy League university, and but the thing is, we had always wanted to come back, and I wanted to come back, and I did not want to stay in the US. And after my children were born, we just did not want to stay longer. We wanted to come back here and have the children brought up here. And we also wanted to use whatever we had learned to see if we could help in some way. And that has been happening, and we have been fortunate enough to be able to contribute whatever we learned. And I think this year's Women's Day theme, Give to Gain, I think we must all try to live, to achieve that. So, well, that's the
It's
thing.
it's fascinating, isn't it? Because you know, of course, today the government, the current government, is very encouraging of deep tech, of science, technology, telling people come back. India is giving you the platform, we'll give you the funding, we'll give you the support to build on, and to put Atmanirbhar and may put India on the forefront of technology, whether it's deep tech, AI, data centers, and what have you. So it would be interesting to observe that. Yeah, now the platform is ready. But when I left and came, it was not the norm. It was we did not come into a conducive environment that said, "Oh, please, we welcome you here. We're going to support you, fund you, and help you grow." So it's heartwarming to know that both you and your husband brought your children back to India, and of course, we are all going to stand to benefit by that. Your journey back. So of course, thank you for that. I'm going to take a few minutes now to ask Dr. Suriya Prabha. So you're from Coimbatore, then you go to Gujarat, and then you should stay in Gujarat, right, where you worked on water. What brought you to Chennai, and what Aeronero, and why water? What are you so passionate about? And I do want you to talk a little bit about the time that you actually worked in a drone company, right?
Yeah.
So from drone back to water. So yeah, let's hear from you.
So first of all, thank you for the good introduction. So as Durga ma'am told, I was born in Coimbatore and I'm from a small village. And I was very much fortunate to taste the water, Sirvani water. Maximum of you know, but the Sirvani water originates from Western Ghats, and it has very good taste compared to the other water. Basically, Coimbatore people are very much fortunate to taste the Sirvani water, and growing up with that, something we already had, and we something we trusted much. And when I grown up and I moved to different cities, I started tasting different taste of water. I started realizing there is a lack of quality. I started realizing that lack of minerals, and I started understanding that there is a difference between even in the water taste. And so slowly I went into studies and research, and I was a biochemist basically. Then I moved into advanced materials, and I started my career with nanosciences from same Coimbatore only. And then I moved to Odisha for doing my project. There, all my research career started to work on advanced materials. And then when I entered Gujarat by clearing my entrance, and I got admission for my PhD. And then when I entered Gujarat, I saw a very big difference in the water quality. And also I was gravitated through same environmental science, and which where I have chosen water, like from there it connected me totally towards, like from my childhood onwards, I'm totally attached to it. That is what I always feel. And then I started working on wastewater. I worked specifically on industrial wastewater, where I have seen a drastic, uh, like where we can't even imagine that water can exist in those form also. So then I started working on advanced materials. I started treating wastewater, and I value water more than anything. And there is a saying in the Tamil in Tirukural, "Nirindri amayadu ulagu." So anything is not existing in this world without water. So, which I strongly believe in. And then I continued my career. I submitted my thesis and published articles and all. So for about 9 years, I continued my research there in Central University of Gujarat. Then I had a small break, and after which I started working in a drone firm where I was giving my material science aspect of knowledge to there. And I started working on lightweight materials and their projects, and That is how I was in the drone firm, and that was very short time because I think I am meant to work on water, and I came back to the same technology where I started all. And I met Durga ma'am, and now I'm in Aeronero, and I think I can do better in that.
Thank you, Dr. Suriya Prabha. Pleasure to have you with us. And you're one of the most gifted people I have met. Very short time you've done. Every time I come around, you show me something new, and it's fascinating because I love innovation. I like ideation. I think there is nothing more valuable in this world than the ability to conceive, the ability to to think of something that's possible for the future, and not just do the ordinary, right? And that is what keeps me driven and passionate. And I want to take that and segue into something that Dr. Purnima is working on, and something that is for the future. Something when I do talk ideas and innovation, she is the mother lode. So I'm going to pass this back to her for a moment before I come up with a few other points that I'd like to share. But Dr. Purnima, I know you're working on technologies, right? And to the extent you think you can share and excite our listeners, tell us a little bit about what the future holds in terms of technology. But maybe before that, you can give us a little background into the problems of water worldwide. You know a lot about it, and the access to water that Surya, alluded to in Gujarat, where that water was not even, you can't touch it, let alone drink it, right? And this is a problem now all over the world. I used to think it's for my Chennai I came back, but it is a worldwide problem. So maybe you can touch upon the world scenario in terms of water crisis, and then maybe you can talk a little bit about technologies. You're on mute again.
I'm really sorry about that. So, yeah, this is actually right now, water stress is a worldwide problem. It's not at all limited to India, or there are so many regions of the world where there is a water stress. So there are three or four main reasons why this stress exists. And first of all, of course, it's largely anthropogenic. And if you talk about India, basically there is a very huge population. The Today the demand actually for India is 1.6 trillion liters per day, and we are barely managing to make 1.1. So there is a huge deficit. But similar situations are happening in many other parts of the world. And then if I go into the reasons why, so one thing is that there is an excessive use, like I said, due to large populations. The second thing is I would say this is being oft said nowadays. The climate change scenario has changed the water scene in a very strange way. Dry areas are becoming drier, and wet areas are becoming wetter. Yeah, this does sound a little strange, but this is happening. And the seasons, even if you look at Chennai, it was always dry, and all of a sudden in the last few years it has started raining in July along with the southwest monsoons. So this was like unheard of in Chennai actually, because the northeast monsoons of India hit Chennai only in November. This of course is good for the for Chennai, because we get water when the water is the least, so that is helping. On the other hand, there are places where it's absolutely dry most of the year, and therefore there is a big scramble for water at all times. Other reasons are that the groundwater has been drawn so much because of excessive requirements. The aquifers have dried up, and the entire water levels in the aquifers have moved down. Bore wells have started going deeper and deeper, and therefore it is affecting. It's like a vicious circle, and we are further drying up the wells, and therefore there is absolutely no, literally very little groundwater left in most regions. Then there are other issues like industrial pollutants, wastewater effluents. Now, all these are being let out at the wrong places. They are infiltrating into the soil, and whatever groundwater does exist is also heavily polluted. Similarly, at the coast, we have a very long coastline. In fact, till recently it was 7,500 kilometers, but last year there was a new memorandum issued. So it turns out that India has a huge coastline of 11,098 kilometers, including all the islands. And that is something important. I mean, it may sound irrelevant to this conversation, but it is not, because this is a number which doesn't need any reason why we should look at water at the coast, why we should not look at technologies like desalination, and why we should not look at waters air water generating technologies, because we have the entire coastline is like humid because of the sea, and there is so much potential of various ways. The other ways to harness is the wastewater, the effluents. So actually in India, the industry is the biggest guzzler of water. They use 15% of the entire water that exists. And then they let out huge amounts of waste and effluents, which are not only toxic otherwise, they pollute all the nearby water bodies, and thereby the actual good quality of water available to as potable water is very, very low. So this calls, I'll pass the baton on to Durga now, but uh, in short, I would say technologies are required for various aspects of water today in India. One is the actual, how do you make clean water? We need augmentation of water because, like I said, irrespective of what you do, I mean, rainwater harvesting and such are definitely required. There is absolutely no doubt about that. But wastewater treatment and treatment of grey water can lead to 40% of regain of water that itself kind of can be used to again pump into the ground for groundwater recharge. Similarly, the entire coastline, we could try to do desalination, environmentally safe desalination technologies, so that again we augment the water. And in this way, there are like several technologies which are all emerging. A lot of them have to move from the lab to the actual commercial space, but it is a huge problem with huge possibilities. Durga?
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned a lot about India and Chennai and our coastline. But what's interesting to note, and as I mentioned this before, is that I came back thinking I would solve a problem for Chennai. But when I came here, I got calls from California. I got calls from Mexico, Latin America. I mean, we always, for some reason, keep thinking India and Africa are the, poverty-stricken countries. If anything goes wrong, it goes wrong there. That's not true. Just like the pandemic, water, as you mentioned before, has no bearing on rich or poor. It doesn't, divide. It is equal to all. And the issues I've seen in California, most recently we had an opportunity to talk to somebody in Virginia, and they said, we're struggling. And I said, Virginia, you don't have water? And they said, yeah, mining has made all our groundwater contaminated. We can't drink it. So we have to look for alternate sources, right? So the question of taking groundwater, whether it's for potable use or gray use, doesn't even exist because they have to look for an alternate source at any cost. So similarly in Mexico, where our partners are working on, implementing in 1,000 parks in 200,000 schools. So the issue of water is not a Chennai, not a South India, not an India story, not an Africa story. It is a global story, right? And in that global story, I want to go back to Dr. Suriya Prabha and ask her a couple of questions. But here's a fun fact for those of you who are listening. So we all know that the sun is older than Earth. Yes? Yes, everybody knows this. But do you know the water on Earth is older than the sun? That's pretty cool, isn't it? There's something for us to think about. I have the answer, but I'm not going to give it to you. I have to go find out, right? So I say this for a reason, because before I talk to Surya Prabha, when water on Earth is older than the sun, it must have come from somewhere. And that means there is water out there in the universe, right? And there are things that happen in the universe that bring water to different planets. And it's possible there could be another planet very soon that might be like Earth and get, a lot of water, right? So Surya, you're working on a few interesting technologies around water. And so you and I have discussed many things about water, like water has memory, right? Water listens to sound, right? There are some cool things that you're working on. Without divulging too much, because of the patents you're filing, maybe you can indication of the couple of areas that you're working on where we can ensure that the world has access to good quality water?
So first thing, as we discussed now, like the water has memory. Obviously, water is absorbing sound and it is reacting to sound. We have seen so many videos and all, and we are working on it, like how we can make the water to listen uh, a sound where it can relax all of us from like. So we are into so many technologies now, and mainly we are focusing on taking the like absorbing the moisture from the air and getting a clean water. That is our main motto. So that is all we are doing, and we are doing in a different way. That is our what to say, our signature, we can say. So we are into our natural materials. We are looking for Ayurveda. We are looking for natural nano materials where we can influence in drinking water without harming anything, and making it more accessible and more clean to drink. So that is our goal to achieve. Soon, I think we will do it.
Well, I asked you to be secretive, not completely hush hush. But anyway, let me at least open the door a little bit, because obviously we want to excite the people who are listening to us and say that as a deep tech innovation company, Aeronero is working on exciting things, right? For example, desiccation was it a subject that was discussed 15 years ago, 20 years ago, right? And since I started Aeronero, I've been in touch with companies, working on MOF out of Switzerland and other places. Recently, you showed me a desiccant that you made in our lab, right? So when we see suddenly Nobel laureate saying, hey, I'm making 1,000 liters in the desert air, I'm like, hey, that's not new. I mean, the Nobel laureate definitely deserves one, and I'm glad he got it, because now the world is aware that there is future of water that is in the air. But we've been working on this for some time, right? So, what is the purpose of you working on desiccants in your lab? And can you tell us a little bit about, the labs that you have set up?
So in our Aeronero, we have our water lab, we have our climate lab, and we also have our lab working on nanomaterials. And this credit or this whole thing, which is guided by our chief scientist, Dr. Purnima, who helps us in every step of our work, like how the lab should be, how it should be calibrated. And we work on, as Durga ma'am said, that we have an inquiry from different countries, different cities, and water is a global problem. So we would like to face it in a, at least in a mimicked way. So we are working in our climate lab, making the climate similar to the different cities and different countries. And we make sure that our performance is good. And we are also working on desiccants with the novel materials where it shows a very good absorption of moisture, and the water is like achieved even in the climate in the difficult climate conditions also. So, ma'am, Purnima, ma'am, you could tell us better in that, because you are the root of it and you are guiding us throughout the journey.
Yes,
No,
Purnima, please.
you've been doing a wonderful job with the lab. So I just like to add a little bit for the people who listen. So you should understand that every water scenario is connected to the surrounding, the atmosphere, and the environment, whichever technology it is. And I can talk about a few more technologies which we would like to do at Aeronero in future. But the laboratory, the idea of the laboratory is twofold. There's one part of it which actually looks at the quality of water, irrespective of which technology. We want it to be the well known, famous lab which has got the ability to test different qualities of water for their constituents and make sure that you are aware of the kind of water that you are drinking, as well as kind of use that as a benchmark for good water versus water that you want to test. So that is for the water laboratory. The other laboratory which is talking about is something which is very unique. This has been made first time by Dr. Durga's vision. We are setting up the laboratory for creating different ambient conditions, whether it is humidity or temperature. uh, we are right now looking at the conditions that happen in India, but we can also, because India fortunately has got the entire spectrum of temperatures and humidities, whether it is like the north of India and Leh Ladakh, where it is bitter cold, and you go to Chennai, where it is very hot and humid. So we have actually a beautiful blessing of all kinds of possible combinations, and this can be replicated for any part of the world. So the laboratory is aimed to make or mimic as many conditions as possible. So any new device that you are developing can be tested in the laboratory for nearly real life situations and nearly ambient atmospheric conditions. So that's what Dr. Surya has been setting up, and I think these two laboratories are we're trying to make them really international class.
Congratulations, Dr. Suriya Prabha, because you're the only climate lab in this country and the third one in the world. The others are GenAC in Spain and WaterGen in Israel. So congratulations on that to both of you. And I know it's exciting, and I know everyone in the space is watching us. Ravi and I co-founded something called GOGI, which is a Global Air Water Generation Initiative. It's a non-profit ATG platform to bring together all air water generation companies and technology from around the world, because this is a problem that we have to unite together to win. I mean, I alluded to the cricket match and the final. This is a space that I think is like a cricket game. We need 11 people in our team and we need 11 on the opposite side for us to play this game. Otherwise, we are not going to have a match, right? Who wins, who loses is not the point. It's a game. We're going to have fun. And for that, we need more and more players in this space. We do have now in air water generation 3 or 4 players in India. We have some, I think, 5 or 6 well-known players in the world. There are several who are in the marketing of the air water generators, because, as I repeat again and again, the future of water is in the air. It's 7 times more water in the atmosphere than in the ground. There is nowhere else to go, right? Having said that, more players are coming in. But I think Aeronero is the only company that is a deep tech innovation, women-led, manufacturing and marketing company in this space. And then that, for me, in India is exciting. It speaks volumes about the knowledge that we have in India, the ability to make a world-class product from India for the world. And I'm happy to share that we have the bubble. And I'm not sure if Ravi can showcase it to the audience, but the bubble is a product which is about 26 inches tall that can make up to 20 liters of water. Simple plug and play like a computer or your telephone. Just take it out of the box, stick it into a power source. Solar, wonderful. The cost of water is 0. Otherwise, it's about 3 to 4 rupees. And you get alkaline mineral water directly from air. You're completely water secure, you're water independent, and it's mobile. You can move it around. It's only 25 kgs and easily manageable for anyone in every home. My vision for Aeronero has been that this will be in 200,000 homes in the next 18 to 24 months. I believe it's a no-brainer because we have everything in our kitchen today: microwave, refrigerators, ovens, chimneys, hobs, air fryers. Let me not forget air fryers, popcorn makers, snack toasters. But for water, somebody has to bring 120-liter bottle and give it to us, or a tanker has to deliver it, and then we have to run it through an RO. Then we have to waste it. And then we make 1 liter and they waste 4 or 5 liters. Why? When the air is yours, the water is yours. And so I truly think the vision that I can see unfolding in front of me in my lifetime for sure is going to be a bubble in every kitchen, in every home in the world. And it's happening as we speak. Our team has launched the product. I think our marketing team in the last 15, 20 days of reaching out to the audience has over 40, 50 distributors from around the world who have called us in. And the exciting part of Bubble, truly the exciting part of Bubble for me, is that we submitted this for the Red Dot Design Award to Germany. And what does that award mean? It is only for international quality products. And this clearly shows Modi's vision of making world-class products in India for the world. If we can, and we are 100% indigenous, made completely here in India. So I think for me, that's an exciting breakthrough. And I think that's going to be showcase what the potential of Indian knowledge, Indian scientists, Indian their product manufacturing is going to be for the world. So yeah, having said that, let's move on and accelerate a little bit before we get to a few questions from who are in the audience who would like to ask a few questions. So Surya, tell me, what is the next thing that's just going to come out from your lab? What can people hope for to say that, wow, you know what, I'm going to go get one of those. I need to talk to them.
So with Dr. Purnima's permission, I think the next thing is we are going to come up with something for our soldiers. And we are also going to come up with something where the water is there in every children's hand in their water bottle. Like we would like to make something where the water is made then and there, and they can drink it readily. So I think that is our soon exciting news from our lab and from our Aeronero. Am I
It's
right, ma'am?
fabulous because for Women's Day, women are the custodians of water. Women are supposed to look after water for themselves, their families, their communities, parents, children, everybody else. And you know, on policy tables, mostly are men. But custodians of women for water are women, right? So what you're saying is the best gift you can offer. So not just women, to communities and families all around the world. I wish you the very best in making that happen. And so I'm going to ask Dr. Purnima Jalihal. I know she doesn't like us to say too much about too many things, but I'm going to allow her to say as best as she wants what this future could mean in terms of solving a problem, of giving access, and potentially maybe even using it for more than portable use.
Right. So, if with Durga's permission, I will touch on three streams here. So, we are a deep tech company, and that's our like kind of our keyword, right? We do things which are different and not done before. And the first thing we want to do is, as Surya just said, we would like to help the Indian Army, and we are working on some things for them, whether it is for base camps or whether it is for soldiers in different climatic conditions. We are developing water units for them right now. And of course, we are still in the process of developing, so we can't really share too many details. But the idea is that those who protect our borders and those who protect our country, I think this is something that we can give. And we three women technologists, I think, like she said, women have been seen as custodians of water. So I think at this point in our lives, if we can help something, help our Indian defense forces by giving them water, I think that will be a very good achievement. Second thing is, today the buzzword is data centers, and I have dabbled a lot in thermal desalination and renewable energy. So there are two facets that we need to address in data centers. Data centers are the biggest guzzlers of water as well as energy. And here is where we can play a great role. One thing is to reuse the waste heat from data centers to create water, or actually provide water to run the data center. And the third thing is, how do we integrate renewables? And that's also something that I passionately believe in, the energy water nexus. How do we use renewables and make water generation more clean and green? So that's the second one. And then the third one, in this age of AI, how do we integrate AI into finding us better materials, better actual cycles of the processes, and how do we optimize to make all our devices technologically as well as commercially more viable and more optimal. So I think these three streams are largely what Aeronero is kind of working on these days. And of course, we will keep moving with the times to do more. But right now, I think these three are big challenges in the deep tech space, and that's what we're addressing right now.
It's like Samson hitting 3 sixes, one after the other. Boom, boom, boom. India will win today's game. There you are, Dr. Purnima Jalihal, aka Samson. So that's wonderful. It's exciting. I'm thrilled that Aeronero's like I said, I love innovation, ideation, and what keeps me awake and what I believe in, and what I've always believed in is, first is we must have purpose, right? If you have purpose, passion follows automatically, because then you're not struggling to get yourself up in the morning, worrying about the challenges of today, because your purpose is drives passion. You just want to get up and run towards doing it, like playing cricket or golf or whatever makes you happy. For me, going to Aeronero in the morning, today, Sunday, we have people working. That's purpose, right? And that passion is there because purpose is we need to solve a problem for the world. The minute you have purpose and passion, perseverance follows. It's automatic, right? There is nothing. It's not a job anymore. It's fun. We're doing things to create new things. We are creative. We are solving problems. Like Purnima said in the Lakshadweep when she saw smiling faces, that that full heart that she came back with. That is what will happen when we deliver solutions that touch each and every person in the planet, especially the future of our planet, children. So you have something to say? Want to add something?
Always women carried water everywhere, and woman is the main responsibility to whatever holds with the water. But now we have to make water from air that is accessible to everyone, not only in our home. We need to make in every home. That 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 passion is there inside me. I hope that end perseverance should come to me soon.
So a quick note on Aeronero. While it is Women's Day and we're talking generally about water, Aeronero is today, I think, about 33% women, right? And we are women-led as well at the senior most level. So I'm very happy that more and more women are joining this cause, more creating. We have aeronautical engineers doing marketing in Aeronero. Incredible. Working from drone company, they started doing marketing because they believe in the passion of water and to solve the problem. And so I'm excited by where Aeronero is headed. I'm excited by the fact that we're launching Gogi. We should be set up in a week's time. We're going to invite everybody in the air water technology space in around the world, and we know most of them, and we follow most of them. Many of them follow us. We're going to invite them to the same platform. We have a summit that Ravi is organizing in June in Delhi, where we're going to be having our Ministry of Water attend and participate and drive. We are talking to the highest levels of the government to make sure that the summit is a success. And truly, we want this to be an ecosystem of all players in water so that we can genuinely solve problems, not just for our country and our own homes, but also for the world at large. And who knows for the future, maybe as we start going towards Mars and other planets, we have solutions of water that will go in our space into our space stations and on space modules. So with that exciting prospect in mind for the future, I'd like to open it out. We're about 10-15 minutes. If anybody has any questions for any of our champion women here, we'd love to answer. So I'd like to end our conversation and be ready for some questions.
Can I go first?
Yes, absolutely. Can
please.
you introduce yourself and please
Yes.
shoot your question, please?
So Ravi, can I ask you to please moderate the question and answer session?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Venkatesh Vade. I lead a startup called Sensio. We are into sensors and AI, but that's not so much the context. I met Durga Das a few years back in Bangalore. There was a context of energy that brought us together. Just met her as a venture capitalist, and I'm an entrepreneur, so that was the context. But today, Aeronero is displaying in our community here. That's how I
In
rediscovered Aeronero,
Bangalore.
and I in Bangalore, yes, and yeah, I'm based in Bangalore, and I was awed, found it very inspiring, and congratulations to all of you. Amazing work. Would love to partner with you guys. I think you're working on very important causes. Would love to take this to farming. Would love to take our sensors and AI to come together with your technology to make it smarter, better, more efficient. And I'd love to grow food with this technology anywhere possible. You know, and solving the problem of water, which gives life, which gives food. So let's partner. Would love to work with you all. Congratulations again. Amazing work. Thank you so much. Happy Women's Day.
Thank you, Venkatesh.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
And I agree with you. So the future of water is not from air is not only for potable water. It is for future of farming. Think of vertical farming with water from air, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Best use case, clean water, no chemicals. Everything you grow is going to be fabulous. Future
Yes.
of grey water reuse. And we have at Aeronero experimented already. It's called Cleanse, QLNZ. We gave
Okay.
it to a laundry. We made water from air, gave to a laundry, took it back, treated it, added more water from it, gave it right back. Complete circular economy. It was written about pre-pandemic as the future of waterless laundry. And so I believe water from air can be for potable use, grey water use, and for future farming. And we'd love to talk more about your work with AI and sensors because that has been a pain point for us. So we would love to get your support and help on that. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we ask if anybody else has a question or a comment?
Yeah, myself, Dr. Velraj, I have a small comment. So, the people have been telling about the third world war is for water. There will be a water scarcity, but I am sure because of Aeronero, this scarcity will not be there, and the third world war will not be there for water. But maybe because of people's ego, it will not be because of water scarcity, because Aeronero's presence. Wish a very happy Women's Day to all the scientists. Thank you.
Which means very
Thank
big, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for attending the webinar.
Thank you.
So while others are thinking, I have a question. I think, having spent some time on sustainability and, spent time working on agri-tech and food tech, I think that one thing which drew me towards air water generation was really the innovation, right? So if you could also speak about, if three of you can talk about a little bit more use case and application, as you've already talked about agriculture. We're talking about air water generators in kitchen across the world, but what are the different applications? I know that many people come back and talk about the challenges of women and girls who are often left out and are most marginalized in rural settings. So if you could speak to that from your vision and perspective, that'd be really fantastic.
Sure. Purnima, would you like to answer that or should I take it up?
Yeah, you can take it up and I can also add later.
Sure. So, Ravi, a good question. So, it's not just about a product that is meant for a household that can afford it. The whole idea of building this product or this suite of products is to make sure there is water accessibility to all. So, whether it is, water as a service, spending, say, 2,000 rupees a month, which is easily affordable for anybody nowadays, right? And with 2,000 rupees a month, I have the access to the best of water, like Evian and Perrier quality water, right, at my fingertips. And when we offer that, I think if you extend it a little further and look at communities, if you look at Panchayat, we were recently invited by Her Excellency Vasundhara Raje to Rajasthan, right? And we were at her at an event when she said, my village doesn't have water. Can you do something for our villages, for our panchayats? So I think community-based systems are very, very possible. With Aeronero, the way we made it happen is not through large systems that are the size of, like a train or railway bogie. These are 2 feet by 2 feet by 1.5 feet. Basically, you and I can carry it and put it in the back of a car, right? And it's not heavy. And you can stack it vertically, you can stack it horizontally, you can stack it from 300 to 5,000 to 10,000 liters. And the best part of it comes from my own time at data centers, right? Where I realized that these systems are the lifeline to water. I mean, water is essential. You cannot have them break down after you implement it. So it cannot have downtime. So the way we built our modular stackable systems, there is zero downtime and no single point of failure. Easy on logistics. And these community systems, now we are offering it with a dispenser where we have a small TV screen which talks in all the languages that tells people where the water is coming from, what is the quality of water, what is the accessibility. And we want and we made the product in such a way that women can manage these systems, right? They are the custodians for their communities. They will maintain it the best possible way. And if they can maintain and manage these systems, we can be rest assured that the community will have access to water. There's one more point that I'd like to add, and it's something that I put together before the pandemic. It was called Windependence. And Windependence is nothing but water or women independence. The reason I did that was to say that women should have access to creating water from it. They should be able to manage their systems. And guess what? They should be able to create a revenue generating opportunity for themselves. Imagine a system where their community is taken care of. Now they have excess water. They can sell water near a temple. They can sell it at a gym. They can sell it at a bus stop, right? And we can give them employment. We can empower them, can give them opportunity to earn for their families through the very same thing that they have to go in search of all the time. So I think community-based, panchayat-based systems are something very close to our heart. We've made our product so that it can be easily implementable and we can bring in the women force to play on it. And we are talking to several state governments, including at the center, to see how we can take this forward.
Thank you very much, Dr. Purnima.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, she has said whatever I would have liked to say, but there's a small additional thing, like you said, for agri. Basically, there are three qualities of water that we can divide this whole ambit of water in. One is a pure drinking water, which the bubble can serve, or any other of, the kind of devices which we are doing for individual based or the community based ones. In fact, the central government had funded a program where there are water ATMs, and several water ATMs were kind of set up in villages, across the northern parts of India. That was a test program to see whether it would be, DST had funded that. So I think this can be going hand in hand, working similar to an ATM, but it could be like on a community level where you place one system, the local community looks after it, and if there is excess or if there is not, it can be built accordingly and used as a water dispenser for either at low cost or at zero cost according to the need of that particular community. And the third branch of this whole thing is not that kind of quality water, but that which can be used for other purposes other than just for drinking and potable use. So there are three distinct, use cases, and I think we can address at Aeronero all three, prongs, I would say.
Thank you
In
very much.
Mexico, if I may just add to that, Ravi, in Mexico, as I mentioned earlier, they're looking to implement this in about 200,000 schools and across 1,000 parks. And in these parks, they've asked us to give the dispensers with QR codes so that they know who is accessing, how much they're accessing, right? So they can keep track. Of course, in Latin America, there's an opportunity where they want to put them in all of the gas stations, and they want to sell water for like 2 cents, 3 cents for a gallon, right? And by putting the QR code, loading up their wallet, they should be able to access water. So we built those kind of dispensers and systems that have QR codes, both for this accountability, but also potentially for commercial use.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I'll request if anybody else has a question in the meantime, we just want to share with you. Yes, please.
Yes, I do have a few questions. First, I
Sir,
want
if
to
you
understand.
sir, if you can introduce yourself, that'd be great.
This is Venkatesh again. Can you all hear me?
Well, again, yeah, I can see you now.
Venkatesh from Sensio. But more broadly, I want to hear from the excellent team here and the founders of Aeronero. What, in your eyes, are the USPs of the product that you're building? That's question one. Second one is, how do you see this serving a community of, say, 100 homes? Just say for drinking water, because a lot of people in my league are using RO filters. 1:2 or 1:3 is the kind of wastage. Heartbreaking. We don't need to. So, what are the benefits you would pitch, and what are the cost benefits, and how does that work out?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks, Venkatesh. I also want to just shout out to my friend Amir Al-Khaid, who I see here. Hi, Amir. Good to see you here.
Hi, Durga. Hi, everyone.
Good to see you here, Amir. So, yeah, Venkatesh. So, the USP Aeronero compared to other AWGs. And as I said, there are several players now coming into AWG because obviously there's money to be made. There's a viable option. Digging the ground means, wasting water to get water. Very soon the governments, in not just our government, many governments are going to say, you can't dig anymore, right? Because you don't want to get to complete zero status, right? So they're going to allow the ground to replenish, which means you have to look at alternates. And alternates include water from air and, like Purnima mentioned earlier, reuse of grey water. That itself can give back a lot to the system. But in terms of a USP, Aeronero is the only company in the world that is deep tech innovation, manufacturing, and marketing. There are several people in EWG who are marketing. They may Chinese made products. You can take an air humidifier and say, yes, this also makes water, right? But is it efficiently purposed to make water from air? Or is it a dehumidifier that you're also saying, I will take water? That is the difference, right?
Now,
So
can I also add something to this, Durga? Actually, an
Yes,
important point, I think, to answer his question very specifically in the interest of time. You mentioned RO, Mr. Venkatesh. Please remember that RO is probably the lowest energy costing right now, and that is why it is in the market in great full, this thing right now. But
Okay.
please remember that it has two significant things which are really bad for the environment. One is the brine that is generated, and the other is the constant reuse of a membrane is simply not possible. You have to throw them after some time, literally. And there is a
Yes.
huge stack of membranes sitting in the Middle East, and they don't know what to do with it. So the USB, Durga, I mean, for Aeronero's products is there is no membrane to dispose of, okay, and there is no brine that is formed. So this is directly the most important focal points of these devices, because we are not throwing anything back to the environment. Okay, Durga,
Very
sorry to have
sustainable.
interrupted.
2 more sixes in
Thank
this
you.
over. Done.
I don't know if Mr. Amir, do you have any question? Mr. Amir, do you have any question?
Yes, hi, Ravi. I don't have a question, maybe just a remark. First, my name is Amer, and I am former chairperson of the Global Refugee-Led Network, advisor to the World Bank and to UNHCR on refugees and displaced people. I met Durga a good few years back, maybe 8 years now. We worked together on various issues. I visited India. With Durga, we attended conferences on water. Throughout my work, I visited so many camps around the world, in Africa, in Asia, almost all over the world, and met lots of people who lives in those camps for years and years, like they born as a refugee and they die as refugees. One small camp would be around 300, 400,000 people living in one space. And I saw those kids not being able to school because there is no water. And also I've seen those women and young girls walking miles and miles every morning and every evening just to fetch water for home, facing all sort of abuse and difficulties. So this is something I lived and experienced myself. I just want to say that in the International Women's Day that lots of women around the world, they need this kind of innovation, this kind of industry, and this kind of work. So whatever it takes, I'm there. Anything I can do, I'm happy to assist. Lots of other things. I recall my son getting his second master's in the Netherlands a few years back. And he was doing his thesis on water as a weapon of war. So today, while listening, you talked about like wars, like Third World War because of water. We talked about like women. We talked about like many things that is becoming like the core of human dignity rather than just humanitarian needs. So I'm there for you, and thank you very much for inviting me, Durga. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you, Amir. Always a pleasure to see you. And I think there's a lot that we're going to work with you. Of course, it will start with a visit to India very soon. And hopefully the war will abate shortly in the Middle East. And they all need help with water. because of the water systems that have now been damaged today, I heard. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So I'm sure you, Ravi, all of us will come together and find solutions, and let's do what we can for the camps, most importantly.
Amir, I think you knew what I was going to do next. I'm actually going to show a short video that Aeronero just launched. You can see it on our LinkedIn page, on our X handle, but I'll just share it with everybody here. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
You can, perfect.
Yes, we can.
Okay, let me get this video right here. You can see the video?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Aeronero wishes all women and girls a happy International Women's Day. Across the world, water and women are deeply connected. Every day, millions of women and girls walk long distances to collect water. When water is scarce, girls miss school, women miss work, and families lose opportunities. Water insecurity doesn't just create hardship, it limits potential. From homes to hospitals, from kitchens to workplaces, women are the first custodians of water, ensuring health, dignity, and life for their families and communities. At Aeronero, a women-led deep tech innovation from India, we believe water access should be simple, sustainable, and everywhere. Our air water generators create pure drinking water directly from the air, from compact 20-liter per day units for kitchens and small offices to larger systems for workplaces and institutions. With solar-powered air wells for rural and semi-urban communities, we are helping bring clean water closer to where women and families live, learn, and work. This International Women's Day, Aeronero celebrates the strength of women and girls everywhere. Together, we can ensure a future where access to water empowers every woman, every family, and every community. Aeronero wishes all women and girls a meaningful International Women's Day. We look forward to partnering with women worldwide to secure the future of water.
Hey, Ravi.
Great, everybody. I hope that really pulls together the key essence. So just want to say thank you very much, everybody. As Dr. Durga Das said, please block June 5th for the Global Air Water Generation Summit that will take place in India. We will let you know exactly where in India. We're going between Ahmedabad and New Delhi. We will know if it gets too hot in Delhi, we might move to Ahmedabad, but it'll really bring together thought leaders. Follow the page of Aeronero, follow amazing speakers. You have all of them on LinkedIn. And I know many of you will be listening and re-listening to this first ever webinar led by women on air water technology. And I know that many universities researching. This is the first of its kind, as it's the first of its kind in India, where a woman deep tech entrepreneur changed everything. And I have my own another passion going on the side, because I do have an issue with the Nobel Peace Prize not being given to women in the South, and my own crusade will go on. But I really want to thank Dr. Purnima, who is a champion, who is a mentor, who's a leader, who's one of the most respected voice, and we're just so honored that we have Dr. Purnima, and I'm just realizing that, we have such a beautiful intergenerational panel here, because we also have, Dr. Surya. I mean, look at this amazing, look at the generation. I'm not going to club them into different age groups, but look at the way we are not talking about leadership. This is intergenerational, air, water generation, women led, as Dr. Durga Das said. And it's just a great honor to be part of the vision and to work with these amazing women leaders and amazing women colleagues. So if you follow our X handle, our Insta, our Facebook, our WhatsApp channel, and our LinkedIn, you'll be able to know many other women behind the scene right now who have worked and are working. We have, as Mr. Venkat said, and I got the pictures, there is a colleague right now with another amazing colleague doing a roadshow in Bangalore. We have another colleague as we speak right now. She's middle of production, Hilda. She's making sure on Sunday everything is happening. She's always the behind the scene, making sure everybody is doing what they are. So this is the beauty of all the amazing women, and really want to thank all the women that we are working with and all the women leaders. Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it. And this is the starting of the Aeronero's webinar series with the Global Air Water Generation Initiative. And our next will be on 22nd of March, which is the International Women's Day. We have some big announcements to share with you. I'm not going to share anything right now.
Water
You
Day.
will, sorry?
World Water Day.
World Water Day. So with that note, over to the panelists to make final comments. And again, thank you, Dr. Durga.
I'll start with Dr. Suriya Prabha. Final comments? Anything you say, Surya?
We have a lot to do and we will do. One line.
Dr. Purnima?
Yeah, we are really excited and happy to be in this space, and we're going to do everything to make all these units happen and reach out to as many different communities as possible inside India and outside India as well.
And to all
Thank
women around the world, today, yesterday, tomorrow, and every day. Every day is Women's Day, according to me. I wish all of you the very best in whatever it is that you do, because you will do it well. Because that's the nature of a woman, to do the best, to give off her best to family and community. And so I appreciate each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. And hopefully our paths will cross soon, wherever and whenever that may be. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.